Good morning, everyone. Here's day 3 of the IBSA World Games Blind Football Tournament. And we're on to Group B in the women's tournament as India take on Argentina here in Birmingham, as we are in beautiful sunshine for the first match of the day as the two sides enter the field of play. The Indian team in bright orange shirts, Argentina in their sort of traditional white and light blue striped shirts. Before all the action can get underway, we will hear both countries' national anthems before their second match of this tournament.
Please stand if you are able for the national anthems. The national anthem of India.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाने तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे भारत की जय भारत की जय भारत की जय।
And now the national anthem of Argentina.
Both anthems done as they get themselves ready for their second matches of the tournament. Alongside me for this opening game of the day is former England goalkeeper Dixie Dean. Dixie, both were winners in their opening games. Argentina 3-0 victors over Germany. India a narrow victory over Austria. How do you see this game going this morning?
Well, I must admit I was quite impressed with the Argentinian girls in their game. They won their game convincingly, played some really good football. So I think it's going to be tough for India today. If they can defend resolutely, you never know, they might come away with a point, but I must admit I'm leaning towards Argentina at this stage.
Well, let's take a run through then of the two sides, starting off with the Indian side. As we mentioned, they were 1-0 victors over Austria just 2 days ago. So they line up with Kanchan Patel in goal, number 1. Number 8 is Akshara Rana. Number 3, Asha Chowdhury, and is the captain of the side. Number 10, Nirma Ben Takarda, with number 4, Dipali Campbell completing the lineup on the pitch. The substitutes then include Apana Datil, Komal Gaikwad, Sangeeta Metia and Shefali Rawat. Head coach is Sunil Matthew with the guide Sina CV. Well, Argentina, as we know, probably produced the most polished performance of the first round of matches amongst the women's teams. They go with this lineup. Michaela Segovia is number 12, number 4 Agustina Medina Pais, number 8 Gracia Sosa Barenche is the star to look out for. Johanna Aguiar is the number 10, and completing the lineup is number 15 Florencia Macenzana, Melissa Flores, Constanza Carrizo, Melody Alvarez, Elena Quinteros, Guillermina Corrales are the substitutes for Argentina. Gonzalo Abbas Hachache is the head coach, with Santiago Hugo as the guide on the pitch. And of course, this is not the only match to take place today. Of course, the women's matches from the tournament also take place at 10:30. Germany against Austria in this group takes place. And then, of course, Group C and Group D of the men's tournament get underway. Colombia versus Spain is at 12:30. Iran, Brazil and Mexico, Morocco complete the day at 4:30 and 6:30 respectively. Of course, Mali not here means that the French game is forfeited on match day 1 for both those sides. The referee is Hilary Ramirez. She's just doing the coin toss with the Indian captain Asha Chowdhury and the Argentinian player Gracia Sosa Barenche. As I mentioned, it is beautiful warm skies early this morning in Birmingham. We have seen all different types of weather so far in this tournament. I mean, we were speaking just off air, weren't we, Dixie? It was almost pretty much you were wearing a coat on Monday, near enough probably 2 layers, and now the last 2 days you've had your shorts on, and very much beach kind of weather, isn't it? Real sort of vibes in that sort of sense.
Yeah, to be honest, it looks like it feels like we've moved countries. It was so wet and windy on Monday, and quite cold as well. It was like a late October day, but thankfully the sun's come out, and very much nicer to to play in a bit of warmth, and as long as it doesn't get too hot, but I'm sure it won't be. About 21-22 degrees is forecast today, so it's perfect for a game of football, and it just makes for a better environment all round, really. The driving rain on Monday was just awful.
It was indeed, and the Indian players just going through their final team talks before they start their match. They come from the shaded area on the near side, the Argentinian players out in their half, having a huddle before they commence their second matches of the tournament. Of course, one thing that was quite noticeable in that first game was how the number 8 Gracia Sosa Barenche and Johanna Aguiar had such a telepathic sort of understanding. That might have to be something today, Dixie, that the Indian team might be very acutely aware of, is the fact that those two look very, very polished together when they played.
Yeah, as I said, we said in the commentary when they played the first time, they play exactly the same as the men's side in Argentina, so they're switching from side to side, drawing players out to create space in behind. And I'm sure the Indian coaches will watch that game and come up with a plan to try and nullify it a little bit. There is a jeopardy of that playing across the pitch, because every square ball can be cut out, and if Indian players do cut the ball out, they're right down the throats of the 2 guys at the back, or 2 women at the back, you should say.
So it will be Argentina who will get this game underway in white and light blue striped shirts, black shorts, black socks, going from left to right. India in their orange shirts, orange shorts, blue socks, with them all having a distinctive feature of all wearing orange boots. They've got black numbers on the back of their shirts, which makes it a lot easier for myself and Dixie in terms of identifying the numbers. No name on the back of it, just the number Argentina with black numbers on the back of their white and light blue striped shirt. As we are about to commence day 3 of the blind football tournament here at the World Games in this women's tournament, as the second round of matches conclude today. Referee Hilary Ramirez blows her whistle, and away we go. Immediately the ball goes out towards the far side with Johanna Aguiar, trying to dribble away from 2 Indian players, as Argentina have got themselves a very early corner here. As that combination that worked so well in the first game. Gracia Sosa Barenche and Johanna Aguiar over on this corner, right in front of us in our commentary position here. 3 Indian players just in front of them. But they have just gone a few yards back from the goal. Now towards Agustina Medina Paez, who's now over on the far side with herself very much backing into the boards. She goes down well by Dipali Campbell. She's done well to keep on going here, and then she looks to play it across the area which Johanna Aguiar was looking to get on the end of, but it just didn't quite reach her teammate there. But positive start by Argentina here.
Yeah, good start by Argentina. Unfortunately, the Argentinian lady at the back post wasn't quite ready for that one.
Battle in the middle of the pitch, which Argentina have won. Here is Johanna Aguiar dribbling with the ball at her feet. She may look to go it alone here. It's a really positive run, and she's fired it in. And Argentina have struck very early on here in their second game. Brilliant strike, no chance for Kanchan Patel in the India goal. And with around a minute on the clock, Argentina in front here in beautiful sunshine here in Birmingham.
Yeah, it was a tremendous strike by the young forward there. She's hit it high into the roof of the net, giving the keeper no chance at all. She breaks away from the halfway line, beats one defender, gets into the edge of the penalty area and drives it high into the roof of the net, and no chance for the goalkeeper at all. Fantastic finish.
We've seen a lot of those sort of identical finishes in this tournament already, and it was a right-footed pile driver past Kanchan Patel. The moment it left Aguiar's foot, there was no chance for the Indian goalkeeper to keep it out, and Argentina are off to a flying start here in their second game of the tournament, as Akshara Rani from the restart is closed down very quickly by Gracia Sosa Barenche, and it will be a Argentina goal kick, which they look to take quickly, which they have. Goalkeeper Michaela Segovia is just rolled it off the side board on the near side. And into the middle of the pitch is the goal scorer Johanna Aguiar. She's getting away from a couple of Indian players, and she pulled down there. She was. Foul on her and foul by Dipali Campbell. Argentina have got themselves a very ominous free kick here as they look to get a second goal very quickly after taking the lead in this game.
Yeah, the Indian player got herself on the wrong side of the forward there, and she just dragged her down from behind. So straightforward decision for the referee to make.
It's important the goalkeeper here, Kanchan Patel, organises how she wants the sort of players to be in front of her. What India don't want to do now is to go and concede a second goal so early into this game. Even 2 minutes in yet, and Argentina could be 2 goals up here as Johanna Aguiar and Agustina Medina Paez are around this free kick, which is a few metres away from the goal. So possibly here the goalkeeper Kanchan Patel may be forced into some action here. As the guide is just telling the Argentina players where to aim for. It will be Paez who hits it. She does go for goal, but a right-footed effort, which is dragged wide and low past Kanchan Patel in the Indian goal. She's just waiting to play the right sort of pass here. Underarm throw out to the near sideboard, looking for Nirma Bentacarda. This is off the sideboard. Argentina in possession. Akshara Rana is making life difficult for Paez. That's got away from the Indian player Rana. Now to Aguiar. She may look to shoot here, which she's got herself into a lovely position. She just missed kicked it as Asha Chowdhury did make it difficult for her, but just a shame for Aguiar. She did all the work to get herself set up for the shot. She just miskicked it, and out of play it goes for an Indian goal kick. There's now Ran just inside the Argentinian half of the pitch. Still she goes on, isolated up there. She goes down very quickly by Pais. As Argentina are looking to clear. Florencia Nzana was the player who has put that out. As India get their first corner. I thought it was a corner, instead it's such an Argentinian ball, which is thrown out by Michaela Segovia. Francia Sosa, Berenche closed down. Campbell and Chowdhury, the Indian players, getting each other's way. Chowdhury with that sort of bright yellow armband, batting with the other Argentinian captain. That bright yellow armband on both their left biceps is battling away. It's the Argentinian captain. Berenche's come up the better there. Here's Aguiar. Now to Sosa Berenche, who will shoot. She will hit it wide, as we spoke about that link up before the game, Dixie. It's the first time we've seen it in this match and nearly produced a goal.
Yeah, exactly the same as what it was the other day. They really good at knowing where each other are on the pitch. And yeah, they link up really well together.
It seems as though there is a issue with Dipali Campbell. As you can, as Asha Chowdhury and Dipali Campbell clashed heads, the black eye mask has been took off so she can receive some treatment as she's off the pitch. So India at the moment are an outfielder short, as you can see on the pitch. So
they are allowed to obviously make a substitution, and it looks like they're going to replace India players coming down to the corner here. Number 6.
Shafali Rawat is going to come on. The official just in front of us is just checking to make sure she's going to get the all clear to come on.
Number 4, Dipali Campbell out.
It was just that incident where, of course, the ball was over on the far side by those boards, and Gracia Sosa Berenche had the ball at her feet. She was dribbling, and then Chowdhury and Campbell collided with each other. Complete accident. So India have made the first change of this game with Shafali Rawat coming on. Now the game will continue. Shara Rana now has the ball at her feet, trying to find a way to get past Aguiar, is making it very awkward for her, but she has just got away from her. Now inside her own half, in the sort of centre circle, comes away from there. Still keeps going as she's coming through the middle. Eventually she's closed down, and looks as though she might have just taken a bit of a hit in the face. As India have got themselves a free kick, as the Argentinian player there was just a little bit physical as she caught Rana in the face.
Yes, Matt, the Argentinian player didn't call voy there, and it's created a collision. Voy is the international word for I go. And you must, if you're without the ball, you have to say that when the player's about a metre away from you. It's a safety thing, and it just makes the player who's got the ball aware that there's someone in front of them.
So it will be a India free kick. Asha Chowdhury is the player hovering over the ball. She's got a lot of white and light blue shirts in front of her. This is though India might be playing another change shortly with Sangeeta Metya going to come on, as Shara Rana just in front of us is going to make way. So India making a second change of the first half here. Of course, she was involved in that little collision, which has meant she's gone off the pitch. So there's 2 players down for India in terms of what looks to be injuries of some sort to their face. There is now Metja involved in the action straight away. She had the pass played to her by Chowdhury. Argentina have intercepted it and won it. There's Gracia Sosa Barenche, who is looking to continue on here. Closed down well by a couple of Indian players. It's going to take a lot to get her off that ball, which they have managed to do. All the orange shirts and the orange boots. Here's now Bentacarda. Argentina, though, right in the middle of the pitch, have got it. And here is Paez. Little nutmeg through the legs of Metja. Challenged by Chowdhury. Just turning a little bit scrappy now, this game. Argentina leading here by a 0-0 with Johanna Aguiar scoring. So it separates the 2 sides at the moment. This goes out towards Johanna Aguiar, who's on the sideboard in the shade on this near side. Rawat and Bentacarda closing her down, but they've not done a great job as Aguiar still goes on here. Shot comes in. Patel saves, and it will be an Argentinian corner. She's the one at the moment, Aguiar, who really is making things happen from the Argentinian attacking perspective here, Dixie.
Yeah, it was a great run by the number 10. She's cut in from the right-hand side, little mazy run, twisting and turning and getting into the edge of the box. Fires in a good shot, but fair dues to the Indian keeper. She stood up, made herself big, and has pushed it round for a corner. Well done.
Yeah, big save indeed. How crucial could that be as Argentina have got themselves a corner over on the far side. Aguiar, who had that shot just a few moments ago, is alongside Gracia Sosa Barenche. That's gone now to Aguiar, who can't find the angle to shoot. Still going on here, she's battling away. Gonna rampage her way through. Ball is stationary as the Indian defence try and work out where it is. Goalkeeper can't come out as she's still in her area. It's gone to Sosa Barenche, who fires it right-footed into the outside of the net. But that was a good opportunity for Argentina to double their lead.
Yeah, it was a very tight angle, and she's lifted the ball, but unfortunately for her, it's gone into the side netting.
There's now Chowdhury for India. Ball along the floor in the middle of the pitch. Paez is intercepted. Plays it forward. The goalkeeper, of course, Kanchan Patel, can't go out and go and get it, but it will just trickle out of play for a India goal kick. One thing that was quite noticeable about India in their game against Austria was they did battle away. Austria for long periods did probably have the lion's share of the play and looked the more threatening, but they did strike and did get that all-important first win of the tournament. There is a little stoppage in play as Ramirez is just checking the mask of Gita Metja. As Argentina will now restart the game, and Kayla Segovia rolling it out towards the near side to Paez. Plays it along the floor into the shade on the sideboard on that near side, just looking for Johanna Aguiar. Can't get there, and ball is just rolling towards us in our commentary position, and India will have themselves a goal kick. Which has actually been out by Kanchan Patel. And it's being closed down by Metja. Just want to wriggle away from Gita Metja there. Ball forward, and one once again go out of play. Too much for Gracia Sosa Barenche. It's still bright sunshine here in Birmingham on day 3 of the blind football tournament. The women's and the men's both in action today. Match day 2 concludes of the women's tournament. Following us after this, Germany take on Austria in Group B, same group as the 2 playing here in India and Argentina. Over on that sideboard in the sunshine is Paez, who looks for Aguiar. Lets it bounce off it. It's closed down well by Nirma Ben Takarda. Now batting away the Indian side, just without registering a chance on Segovia's goal just yet. Which is lost out. Paez now wins it. Argentina in possession. Barenche. Going to find Aguiar as found via the ball going off the sideboard on the near side. Challenge is a good one from Rawat. It will be India's ball. As a timeout has been called by India here, as there's a chance to get some fluids on board. It is a very warm morning here in Birmingham, and of course certainly has played a part. Well, this was the couple of the chances that have happened in this game so far. That one there for Gracia Sosa Barenche. Hannah Aguiar, who has been the star of the show. That shot that Patel saved, couldn't double up the tally that she's managed to get herself today. As we have this sort of little time-out period, Dixie, I mean, Argentina may be kicking themselves slightly, the fact that they've not been able to get themselves a bigger lead than what they've got at the moment.
Yeah, the game's gone a little bit scrappy. I think that suits the Indian players better. It's they're getting in and around the ball and breaking things up. Obviously better than what they did in the first couple of minutes when they conceded the goal. So as far as the Indian players are concerned, we're looking at the goal again here now. Yeah, she's coming through. She's on the edge of the box and lifts it into the roof of the net. And yeah, it's a superb strike.
She did brilliantly to just keep on running, didn't she? She just ran through the middle of and the heart of the Indian defence, carried on going, composed herself, set herself, and she rifled it home to give Argentina the lead very early on in this game, as we are now halfway through this first half here. In this Group B encounter between India and Argentina. As we are really about to get this game back underway in this first half here. Kanchan Patel in bright green goalkeeper strip, bright green shorts, and then sort of a lighter green in terms of the colour of her socks, is about to get this game back underway. What's quite interesting to see is that there are 2 Indian players on the very end of the sideboards in Bentakarda and Chowdhury. They rolled across the floor towards Metya, who's looking to shoot here. Was she fouled by Segovia? They were very adamant that there was a touch on Sangeeta Metya there, the Indian bench, who were going a bit apoplectic, and Argentina can make them pay here with Sosa Barenche, and Argentina double their lead. Well, from one end to the other, where the Indian team no doubt feel a bit hard done by, they didn't get a penalty. Argentina make them pay just a few seconds later, and it's their star player Gracia Sosa Barenche who's got it. No doubt the Indian team, Dixie, are going to be feeling very hard done by that.
Yeah, they are a little upset about it, but you know, from our viewpoint, I didn't see that as a foul. The goalkeeper just went down and just saved the shot, and it broke away. And they've accelerated through the thirds and got into the penalty area, and it's another sweet finish. Yeah, this time very low to the goalkeeper's right. So 2-0 to Argentina.
2-0 indeed, and good value for that as well. India for the first time getting really close to Michaela Segovia's goal. Certainly one of those up for debate, that sort of foul, isn't it? But the referee, Hilary Ramirez, was very sure straight away that that wasn't a foul, and Argentina then just broke away and, as Dixie said, accelerated through the thirds and made it 2-0. And the two players who were so good in the first game, Aguiar and Sosa Barenche, have managed to make it 2-0. Ninja have got themselves this is the incident as to what happened when Metjo went down. And to be fair, Dixie, your hunch was right, 'cause it doesn't really look like there's a great deal in that, to be fair.
No, the Indian player's shot, the goalkeeper's just gone down to save it, and on the follow through, the Indian player's just gone over the top of the goalkeeper. There's no foul there at all. It could be argued if there was a foul, it was the Indian player fouling the goalkeeper, because she's ended up kicking her. So no problems with that, and they broke away and netted the second goal. It's probably because they pushed up and created the space at the back for the Argentinians to expose, whereas they've been sitting in quite deep for the previous 5 minutes and looked quite comfortable. But they've pushed forward one or two players, and that's opened some spaces up. And the Argentinians are particularly adept at covering the ground, and they went through the thirds very, very quickly.
If you're sort of Sunil Matthew, of course, the Indian coach now, with just over sort of 6 minutes left of this first half to play, what do you do? Do you go and try and, half the score to make it 2-1, try and get yourself a goal, or try and hold on to what you've got and make sure that Argentina don't get a third, or maybe even more potentially before the end of this first half?
Yeah, for my mind, the next goal wins the game. So if I would be sort of looking to say, right, let's keep it at 2-0 till half time, just frustrate them, get bodies in and around the ball, which they have been doing particularly well for the previous 5 minutes. And the first time they go forward, they get caught, and it's a goal to Argentina. So I would say hang on to what you've got for the moment.
We are back underway after that timeout. It's gone straight to Aguiar here. She's looking to make it 3-0, and she's done just that. Well, we just spoke about how India may look to try and keep it at 2-0, but Argentina have made sure that is not the case. And this game is going away from India here, as it's a second for Aguiar, and low finish past Kanchan Patel on her right hand side, and it's India 0, Argentina 3 here.
Yeah, such a simple finish for her. The Indian defence just went to sleep there. The ball's come right the way down through the middle, and she's been sniffing around in the box. It's come to her, she's turned, and sweetly you hit it into the corner. Yeah, simple stuff.
She just lets it roll in front of her, and then she's facing the goalkeeper, Johanna Aguiar, and then right-footed, low, away to the keeper's right. And Argentina have a third and are now in very, very good control of this football match. The second encounter for both, and they are closing in on making it 2 wins out of 2. They beat Germany by a 3-0 scoreline in game 1. They are already matching that scoreline, and there's still another quarter of an hour left to play, plus 6 minutes of this first half here. As Gracia Sosa Barenche still goes on here, and she's made it 4-0. Aguiar with 2, Sosa Barenche with 2, and Argentina really are being clinical in front of goal, and it's getting a little bit desperate and a bit sorry now for India, as it is India 0, Argentina 4.
Yeah, I'm afraid the Indian defence have fallen apart really in this last couple of minutes there. It was another great run. She picks it up on the halfway line, heads down towards the left-hand ball, beats another player on the edge of the box, and yeah, she's in the penalty area, and she's just slotted it to the keeper's left. No problems. They are 2 quality players, these girls up front for Argentina.
Well, they do look like the 2 of them that they could win this tournament for their country, and we're going to see now another Indian change, and of course Dipali Campbell, who went off after that collision with Asha Chowdhury early in the first half, is going to be coming back onto the field of play. Still we await to see who is the player she's going to come on and replace. Looks as though it will be Shafali Rawat who will come off. Campbell is now back on the field of play. Now Rawat is coming off, and of course in line football you get the roll-on, roll-off subs, and Argentina are looking like they're going to plan not just one change, but looks as though there's two coming up very shortly, but they won't be making them just yet. As India get the game back underway. Over in the shade on that sideboard on the near side in Argentina's half is Sosa Barenche. She's got two, as well as Aguiar. Has gone towards Aguiar here, who's going to run onto it. Although it has just gone out of play for a Indian restart. So rolling it through the middle along the floor. Just goes inside Argentina's half. Is now Sangeeta Metya. Going over towards the far side, closed down by Florencia Mazenzana. Over there, it's Argentina restart. Do you see maybe Dixie now, Argentina taking their foot off the gas here?
Yeah, I think if I was the Argentinian coach, I'd be getting the two girls up front off. I'd be wrapping them up in cotton wool, keeping them for the semi-final and potentially the final. This game's done. There's no point risking them any further.
Well, they don't look like they want to stop anytime soon as Sosa Barenche goes on. Low effort, straight at Patel, who keeps that out. It's gone back out to Sosa Barenche. She's just trying to get away from Bentacarda. Gets another shot away, and it's low into the side netting, but they really are struggling, the Indian defence. However many players get around her to deal with her in any single way. She's on a hat-trick, and she looks like she wants to get that hat-trick.
Number 3, Melody Alvarez in. And number 11, Quinteros in.
There's a little bit of confusion going on here. The Argentinians want to make a substitute, and I don't think the referee was aware of that situation, and so they're going to bring it back, and then the 10's gone off.
Yeah, Johanna Aguiar, who's got 2 of the 4, is going to come off. As you mentioned, Sosa Barenche is also going to come off, so I think it's almost like I've heard your words there, Dixie. Oh no, actually she is going to come back on. It did look like she was going to come off with Aguiar. She was going over to that far side, but she is still on the field of play. They have made also another change, as Mazenzana has also gone off on the field of play. Elena Quinteros is one of the 2 players on, as well as Melody Alvarez. So a double switch made by Argentina in the last 5 minutes of this first half here. They have been in total control and have swept the Indian team away. Sosa Barenche closed down well. Good challenge by Sangeeta Metya in the middle of the pitch. Sosa Barenche in her red trainers is still with the ball at her feet. Goes down quickly. She's still inside her own half. Does eventually play it, and whether they will play it straight to a bright orange shirt. Carly Campbell now has it. Trying to get away from Elena Quinteros. Done so, she's still carrying on. Good running by Campbell, who came just back on. Alvarez challenge her, it appears not, as the ball won't quite go out of play. It's on the very edge of the line over on that far side. As India to try and prosper and get a shot away, it was Metya, but she's just touched it out of play. And Argentina restarters. Quinteros is looking to get on the end of it here, the Argentinian sub. One of the 2 just came on a few moments ago. 2 Indian players batting with on the near sideboard in Campbell and Bentacarda. Here is now Sosa Barenche. Good work by Chowdhury to close it down. One captain to the other. Chowdhury just helping Campbell back up. Is Sosa Barenche. A little bit away from goal, and it goes wide of the Indian post. Dixie, she really is just on a personal mission to just try and get as many goals as she can.
Yeah, the Indians just can't cope with her at all. She's twisting and turning, real live wire of an attacker. She's got very good close control as well, and she's making it very difficult for the Indian team. But I'm pretty sure at the half-time we may be seeing the last of her. I think he'll take her off.
Well, there is even that possibility that they could even rest her up for their final game when they will play Austria, which is to come. Speaking of Austria, they play in the very next game against Germany in this group. Both of them, of course, winless after that first round of matches. Germany beaten by Argentina, Austria beaten by the Indian side, but it's Argentina who are beating the Indians here. There's a lovely piece of skill by Sosa Berenche to fire it towards Elena Quinteros, who just can't quite get on the end of it. I just don't think, in terms of the women's action so far, Dixie, we've seen as much of a polished individual performance as much as Gracia Sosa Berenche. She's been absolutely outstanding as she's trying to set up Elena Quinteros. The ball is just wide over on that far side as she's coming about 5 yards infield from the sideboard, goes for it. A little bit away from goal with that effort, and they are certainly getting their shots on the Indian goal, and Kanchan Patel is certainly at times in this game having to be called upon to make some big saves, but as of late, no saves for her to have made. But I don't think it's going to be ending there, the action, in terms of her having to keep out the Argentinians on their attack as they search for more goals. So Berenche on the halfway line, and now to Quinteros. Chowdhury getting Campbell's way. Quinteros shoots and gets it wide, and very much in Elena Quinteros' case, since she's come on, Dixie, very much a shoot on sight type of policy.
Yeah, she gets a call from the guy behind the goal, and yeah, she's letting fly. Yeah, I think, looking at this game now, and the group as a whole, goal difference could be vitally important. And I think if I was the Indian coach, I'd be saying, right, come on, we need to defend. Let's not let it get any worse. Let's keep it to the goals we've conceded, and hopefully move on in their third and final game in the group.
There is now Quinteros. Bentacarda kicking it away from her over on that board on the far side. Still, the sunshine is out here. It is a beautiful morning here in England's second city. There is now Quinteros, still goes on. She's getting closer to goal. This might be the opportunity where she shoots. She doesn't get it away. Good defending by Dipali Campbell, who gets it away from her. She's now striding forward. Just a bit of a heavy touch, which sees Argentina regain the ball here. Campbell, though, battling away with Sosa Berenche. Good battle there, which has led to Hilary Ramirez stopping the play and giving a free kick, I think, here.
Yeah, she's given a free kick against the Indian team, and it's going to be an Argentine free kick. I think there must have been a bit of pushing and shoving in there. We couldn't see from our angle, but the referee was quite firm and quite decisive. She's made a decision. She's standing by it. So we've got a free kick to Argentina. We've got, 40 seconds to go?
Yeah, it was right in front of us. We were behind it, but there was such a cluster of bodies there that it was very difficult to tell if there was actually any evidence of a real foul in there. But obviously Hilary Ramirez has spotted it, and it is an Argentinian free kick just inside their own half, in which they have been very good indeed. They lead by 4-0. And to be fair, Kanchan Patel's made some very good saves to keep it at 4-0, as well as, of course, Argentina missing some chances as well. As Dipali Campbell, it maybe appears as though the sort of injury that she got when she collided with Asha Chowdhury has come back again.
Yeah, the wound she's got on her face has opened up again, and she's bleeding quite heavily, so they're having to take her off and bring a substitute on.
Yeah, Shefali Rawat, who originally came on for her first of all, then came back off for her, has now come back on for her again. That might be the last we see of Dipali Campbell in this game, because it does probably just appear as though that wound's just going to keep opening up and up and up, possibly. As the clock is ticking down, we edge closer to half-time here. The Indian team really could do with half-time. The Argentinian side wish they could probably carry on, but it looks as though it could be 4-0 at the break. The Indian side have a rare bit of possession, something that hasn't really happened in this first half. Is now Quinteros, just about closed out by the Indian defence in Rawa, who just came on. It will be an Argentinian corner here to possibly get themselves a 5th goal, as we are just under 15 seconds away from the first half coming to a close here, and the first game of the day here. Beautiful Birmingham. It was taken. India, though, read what was happening, and bringing it forward is now Mechia. The Sosa Barenche is back there in her own half and winning it. And that is the sound of the buzzer to signal the end of the first half. Well, it has been the Johanna Aguiar and Gracia Sosa Barenche show for Argentina, both with a brace, as Argentina lead by 4-0 against this Indian side. There's been some good saves as well from Kanchan Patel. They've also missed some decent opportunities themselves, but Dixie, one-way traffic indeed, as we get a run through now of all the goals that have happened. This is the first of the 4 from Johanna Aguiar. That wonderful drive past the goalkeeper, Kanchan Patel. That actually happened within the first 2 minutes of this encounter, and she just powered her way through the middle, and then right-footed pile driver past Kanchan Patel, high and away from her. Then the second through Gracia Sosa Barenche, low driven effort past Kanchan Patel, well away from her. Great finish as Argentina were 2 goals up, but that wouldn't end there in terms of this first half, as they would get themselves a 3rd and a 4th. Segovia with the throw through, low finish by Aguiar. Not quite as powerful as the first goal she would score, but still very much eagle-eyed in terms of her precise finishing, as she hit it away from Patel on her right, low into the corner. And then Gracia Sosa Barenche would say, I want a brace, and she would get a brace, as she would just run through the middle, through the heart of the Indian team, and strike it away past the diving Patel on the left-hand side. And to be fair, in terms of the highlights, it's pretty much as you'd expected. Argentina as dominant as they could have been, Dixie.
Yeah, it was a great first half performance by the Argentinian girls, and more so the two young girls up front. They've torn India apart, and it's been a really good first half for them. So I would imagine they'll take the pair of them off in the second half and wrap them up.
Well, in bright, beautiful sunshine, it is half-time here in Birmingham. The first game of the day on day 3 of the World Games, the women's blind football. India 0, Argentina 4.
IBSA, International Blind Sports Federation, presents, with the support of the International Paralympic Committee, IBSA Anti-Doping App, the first application of its kind in the Paralympic movement, specifically designed for blind and visually impaired people. Athletes, coaches, medical staff, managers, and the public in general now have a powerful tool to stay focused on the principles of clean sport. Scrolling down the main menu, you can find all the important themes you need to know to play fair and be alert to testing procedures and necessary adaptations for athletes with visual impairments. IBSA gives top priority to anti-doping control, being the only international federation with 3 sports in the Paralympic family: goalball, football, and judo. IBSA Anti-Doping App has external links, namely to WADA, where our sport agents can always find the most updated information, especially the list of prohibited substances and methods. Glory in sport can only be achieved by the athlete's awareness of their rights and responsibilities. You can find them on the IBSA anti-doping app. IBSA is continuously promoting anti-doping education to all its affiliate athletes and sport agents, not only about the consequences of the use of doping and the risk of using supplements. IBSA believes that education is the major tool to fight doping in sport. Informed athletes can make better decisions. Download the app now at the usual operating system stores.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have seen history being made today.
Such a great team at these championships.
IBSA. Beyond sight. Feel the sport.
It's fast, technical and tense. This is your guide to five-a-side football. There are 5 players per team, 4 outfield players and a goalkeeper. The aim of the sport is to score a goal by kicking the ball into your opponent's goal, and at the end of the game, whoever scored the most wins. Players must wear eye shades to ensure that all players have the same level of vision. That is apart from the goalkeepers, who aren't required to wear eye shades and can be fully sighted. Their job is to keep the ball from going in the goal behind them. But how do the players on the field know where the ball, or indeed the goal, is? Well, the ball in blind football is specially designed to make sound whenever it moves. Also, each team has a guide behind the opposition goal to help direct them. Each player is required to shout "Voy" when going for the ball. This ensures every player has the cues they need to help build a picture of what's going on and what to do next in defence or attack. To help this, total silence is required from the crowd until a goal goes in. Voy is Spanish for go, and it was the Spanish who were credited with originally developing blind football in the 1920s. As well as the Paralympics, teams from all corners of the world can compete at World, European, Asian, African and America's championships, as well as a World Grand Prix. Blind football can be played by both men and women, with the historic first Women's World Championships coming up in 2023. So what are you waiting for? Give it a try.
close to the second half getting restarted. The Argentinian players and Indian players are entering the field of play. Beautiful sunshine here in England's second city, and it is India 0, Argentina 4. You could not have had contrasting moods going into half-time if you tried. India, no doubt, playing for pride. Argentina just probably playing for the complete opposite of that, as they lead by 4-0 as we've got the second half about to start. And Dixie, I mean, it really was in that first half one-way traffic, and it really has reflected on the scoreline, hasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. That was it. Really, the Argentine, really strong side, and the two young girls up front that are tremendous. Like the best pair in the women's side of the games, and they've put India to the sword. And as I said just before half-time, I think it's important now that India try and tighten up the ship a little bit and not concede anymore, because goal difference could come into it in the final round of games in this group.
Well, it does appear as though Argentina have made a change for the start of this second half, as Guillermina Corrales has come on for the start of it. So the two players who were so effective in the first half of Johanna Aguilar and Gracia Sosa Barenche are not on the field of players. India get us underway left to right. Orange shirts, orange shorts, dark blue socks, all distinctively wearing orange boots as well, just to sort of emphasise sort of the same colour as their shirt. In Argentina in their light blue and white striped shirts, black shorts, black socks. It's good work by Akshara Rana, who gets the shot away. A bit wide and a bit away from the goal as it bounces off the sideboard over on the far side, and will go out of play for an Argentina restart. It does appear as though India have made a change for the start of this second half, as Rawat has come back off. Dipali Campbell has come back on. We'll go through the two sides just for you, as India line up with Kanchan Patel in goal. They then have the outfielders including Dipali Campbell, Nirma Ben Takarda, Akshar Rana, the number 8, and also completing the lineup for them, of which reveal in just a second as Rana gets the shot away. Shot is blocked by Guillermina Corrales. The final Indian player is Sangeeta Metya. There's a positive, bold start here by India in this second half as they look to claw the deficit back, as they try and grab a consolation goal. Melody Alvarez, Metya with the ball, will reach Rana, who's a few metres away from the goal. Not the right angle to shoot as Alvarez is there. Closed down though, outnumbered as the Indian players try and win it back. Alvarez, 10 metres or so infield from the far board. She is in the unshaded part of the pitch here. The University of Birmingham on the 4G pitch, which is bright green. Inside the Indian half now, as Ben Takarda is battling away with Elena Quinteros. We'll reveal the Argentinian side just quickly for you. Michaela Segovia is in goal. They have Costanza Carrizo, who's come back, come on I should say. Also in there as well, Melody Alvarez, Elena Quinteros and Guillermina Corrales. So Johanna Aguilar and Gracia Sosa Barenche, who scored both the goals in the first half to put Argentina 4-0 up. They're getting themselves a well-deserved rest and probably putting their feet up off the side of the pitch, as Corrales does well to fend off Metya and play it to Melody Alvarez, who just takes the ball over to the far sideboard. And it's probably just a case now, Dixie, of just some of these players who've needed minutes just to get some energy and just get themselves up to match speed, just get their fitness levels up in the sort of second half here perhaps.
Yeah, that's correct. It's in a very nice position to be in for the Argentinian coach. He can give the squad now all minutes on the pitch. He's nice and comfortable. He might need these girls in the last round of games and in the semi-final and finals if they get that far. So it's good that they can get on the pitch and get some minutes in their legs.
Metja will shoot, and it's on target, and it's straight at Segovia, who was down on her knee to keep it out. It was straight at her though, but she did have two hands on the ball. However, though, better play by the Indian side here. As Campbell's just trying to find a way through in the middle of the Argentinian half, but closed down by Alvarez, who just puts Metja on her backside. There's a bit of a battle going on just on the halfway line, just inside the Indian half of the pitch, which Argentina have now taken control of. But of course, you did mention it in that first half, Dixie. What the Indian side don't want to go and do now is to concede more goals, because goal difference could play a massive part, couldn't they? No doubt they'll be keeping a very close eye on the very next game in this group when Germany take on Austria.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think this group, second place, will go down to goal difference. So the Indian team don't really want to concede anymore if they can help it. If I was the Indian coach, I'd be sort of saying, right, girls, come on, let's put 4 across the back. And if we can get a lucky breakaway and get us a goal, great. But let's defend first, and yeah, we'll go on and to our last group games and try and nick a point there and proceed into the semi-finals. So yeah, it's important that they don't concede again.
There is now Quinteros, surrounded around by 2 Indian players, and they've won it. Still going on is Metja here. Away from Rana, her teammate. Closed down though by Guillermina Corrales. They're struggling to clear it away. The Indian attacker's not making that easy, but she is able to just poke it clear. It will probably annoy the Argentinian side if they were to concede, as no doubt the coach, Gonzalo Abbas Hachache, is just hoping that they can keep a successive clean sheet in 2 games. Corrales is closed down by Metja. Certainly didn't really see a lot of that in the first half with the Indian side. Corrales really cannot get herself out of a tight spot. However, though, she has managed to get her side a restart. She's in bright pink trainers. Certainly does stand out in that sense, does the substitute Guillermina Corrales. As it looks as though Argentina are going to make themselves another change. We're going to see Florencia Mazenzana come onto the field of players. Costanza Carrizo, with a brief appearance in this second half, be replaced. She came on for the start of the second half, so she's back off the field as Costanza Carrizo, I should say, has come on in her place. It is still India 0, Argentina 4. Sunshine is still out, no wind at all. Just over as I turn my head right, the leaves are just sort of gently blowing. A very light breeze here. Only around sort of 20 degrees without checking the actual temperature of the weather here today. Very much more of the same as it was yesterday in England's second city here at the University of Birmingham. Here's an opportunity now for Metja, who couldn't quite get the shot away. De Alvarez there on the far sideboard, and with a left foot knocking it off the pitch. And out of play for an Indian ball. Of course, there are in this women's tournament 8 teams. This is Group B. The second round of matches conclude right after us when Germany take on Austria in an all-European affair. Both, of course, needing to win after their opening game losses. There's India here, right over on this far sideboard, have got an opportunity to potentially get a shot on Michaela Segovia's goal. They have gone short from it. They are building steadily. The ball will just about reach Michaela Segovia. She did plant herself to go down there. It did just wriggle on through. I was a little bit worried. She might have just leapt out of her box and tried to grab the ball there, but it did eventually go through to her. Just any sort of touch in her box, she was always going to dive on it, and that's exactly what happened as Florencia Mazenzana now has the ball. This is straight at the board. It's gone back into play though. Here's now Metya. A lot more territory by the Indians in this second half on the Argentinian goal, just without really the opportunity to test Michaela Segovia. And just over in our commentary position, just over on the left, we're about to see Johanna Aguilar come on back onto the field of play. That's all the Indian team need now when they are already 4 goals down, and they see a player who's got 50% of the goals in this game enter the field of play once again very shortly, Dixie.
Yes, Matt, it can be a very nice sight for them. But it just goes to show how important the 2 Argentinian women up front are for the team. Since they've gone off, it's a much more equal game, it's more balanced, and the Indians are coming into it. And I'm afraid that's going to change very quickly.
Yeah, they do have that luxury, don't they, Argentina, of being 4-0 up. They can just rest players up, as Nina Quinteros has been involved in some sort of incident which has led to a foul. So there will be this Argentinian change to come now. So Melody Alvarez is to be replaced as Johanna Aguilar is to come on, and helped off by Michaela Segovia, who's just given her some, no doubt, praise for her cameo on the pitch. As Johanna Aguilar is going to come on as Argentina make a change. Do you maybe perhaps think Gonzalo Abbas Hachache, he's a little bit dissatisfied with what he's seen so far in this second half, if he is having to bring Aguilar back on here, Dixie?
I can't see that he'd be particularly happy about bringing her back on, but certainly since the 2 young girls up front have gone off, it's changed the complexion of the game totally. India have come right back into it, so I think he'll bring them back on just for brief moments and just to get a foothold back in the game.
It was an Argentinian free kick as opposed to an Indian one, which they're trying to make count now. Here's Aguilar straight into the action. She now looks to her right, a little bit behind Quinteros, uses the board to her advantage as she can adjust her position and see the ball at her feet. Over though the Indian midfield tenacious as the ball was in the middle third of the pitch. There is now Metya, who's full of purpose. Now Akshara Rana. He's being closed down by Mazanzana. Can they finally get a shot on goal? They're getting into some really nice positions, but it just seems at the moment that either there's several Argentinian players there to close them down, or they just can't quite get that shot away, as Rana is able to then give it to Metya in a little bit of space, but Guillermina Corrales is there to intercept and win it. Argentina struggling to clear, as India look to capitalise, but Argentina eventually clear it straight back into the Indian half. And whilst India have gotten themselves in nice positions, Argentina have defensively, and they've needed to be in this second half, been very strong and very willing and determined to make sure that they don't concede and make it consecutive clean sheets, as Campbell battles with Johanna Aguilar. It's the first time probably in this game we've actually seen an Indian player really make life difficult for Johanna Aguilar, as she now does have it. She's getting into her stride here. She's away from Metya. Good challenge though by Bentacarda. Now the ball's over on the far side. Still beautiful sunshine here over on the far side, over towards where there's several blue seats, which are being filled by, of course, the spectators, and of course, no doubt, other teams and other nations probably watching on. And of course, where there is an athletes' village as well for the first time, where there's a chance for players of other countries to mingle with one another. It is as you would have expected, probably in this second half. Argentina settling on what they got and just making sure that India don't build any head of steam at all, as it has now gone through to Johanna Aguilar. She's about 5 metres or so from the sideboards. She's gone over to that far end of the near side. She comes in field now in the middle. Shot is deflected off of Bentakar, but bounces on through to the Indian keeper Kanchan Patel, who we've not had to mention that much in this second half, as Florencia Mazenzana now has it inside her own half. She's drifting over towards that far side, kicking it away. So just under 4 minutes away from completion of game one in the day's action here in the women's blind football, and the men's, of course, which play as well. Yermina Corrales loses out. Now Metya for India. They're all way out in the middle. Segovia's prepared to be busy here. She was getting right down to perhaps make a save, but in the end the Argentines defend it well, as the ball has eventually gone out of play. As there is going to be a break here as the Indian team line up a substitution. A chance as well to have a timeout and get some fluids on board. It is a very hot morning here in Birmingham and the near side in the shaded area. But as I mentioned, Dixie, it has been as you would have expected probably this second half. Argentina just closing on what they got and just not allowing the Indian team to get any goal or anything of note to feel positive about, which would be to score in this game, because it has been very much a Jekyll and Hyde touch second half from Argentina in terms of the approach anyway.
Yeah, it is a total turnaround. There's to be fair, no team looks like scoring in the second half, which I think personally suits the Indian team as well. They don't want any more goals against them in the against column, and looking at some highlights here.
It was Sangeeta Metya who had that chance, and the only one really that they've been able to really conjure up on Michaela Segovia's goal. Has been one of them games and mornings for the Indian side, which we've seen the pair of Johanna Aguilar and Gracia Sosa Barenche steal the show and be the headline makers for Argentina. So good, so effective in the first game. They brought it with them in this second game. I mean, them two alone in that combination, Dixie, could see Argentina really go not just into the final, but perhaps go all the way.
Yeah, they've got to be one of the favourites to win this competition with those two girls up front. They are a different class from anything else that we've seen. And like the situation they're in now, 4-0 up at half time, it's allowed the coach to give all the girls minutes, and it's an ideal situation for him. Important that India don't concede in this last couple of minutes. They've done very much better in this second half, and they've got into the faces of the Argentinian players and limited their chances, and there hasn't really been a direct shot on the Indian goal.
Well, India have managed to bring on their sub-goalkeeper. Parna Idatad Atil has come on in place of Kanchan Patel, so she gets some minutes in this game. The final few minutes of it anyway. Just under 3 to play. India 0, Argentina 4 is the score, and has been since towards the end of this first half. Here's Johanna Aguilar, who's got 2 of the Argentina 4. The number 10. The sort of black right, and in those blue trainers, hits it low. It's saved by the right shin of Idat Hodatil, who did very, very well to keep it out. There is now Aguilar, still goes on, dribbling away, goes down. Was she fouled? The referee over on that far side thought about putting the whistle to her mouth, but did decide there wasn't enough of a foul in there. But what it will be is an Argentinian corner kick.
Yeah, she went down. It was a bit soft, really. There was a bit of a hand on her back, but yeah, it was a bit dramatic. And the referee over there is only a couple of yards away from it. Saw that as nothing in it. It didn't warrant a penalty, and it's dribbled out for an Argentine corner.
Doesn't get the seal of approval in the Dixie Dean School of Diving then.
Yeah, it's 9.7.
It does look as though India are going to make another substitution. Just under 2 minutes to play here. There is no breeze at all. As I mentioned in this second half, there was some of the trees near where we are just sort of gently blowing, but no sign of that at all, as there is a change as Entakarda goes off and Kamal Gaikwad goes on. So it now means every Indian player is featured from their squad list today. All 9 of their squad for this tournament have featured. For Argentina, barring Melissa Flores, the goalkeeper, they've all featured. All the outfielders have anyway, as Michaela Segovia got the nod to start the game in goal, as opposed to Melissa Flores, who played against the Germans 2 days ago. There is now Elena Quinteros inside the Indian half. Very rare to see the Argentines in this second half in the Indian half of the pitch. There is now Quinteros trying to find Aguilar, but it's cut out by the Indian defence. Yermina Corrales battling away in the middle of the pitch, just past the centre circle in the Indian half, in those bright sort of pink trainers. Now over in the shaded area on the far side board, oh sorry, the near side board I should say. It does look as though Melody Alvarez is going to be introduced after that attempt from Johanna Aguilar, who was off the mark with that attempt from a few metres out, to be fair. As we're just under 60 seconds to play, Melody Alvarez is just going to have a quick run around as Guillermina Corrales will come off. And it will be definitely the final change for Argentina and the final change of this game. Certainly a lot more of a breeze in this one for Argentina than the Germany game. They've been able to just relax and not have to apply the pressure to get more goals as they did in the second half against the German side. Job done in the first half. There's not been that desire as there was in that first half to grab more goals. Here's now Akshara Rana. Will India get their names on the score sheet? Time ticking as we are into the final 30 seconds here. As Alvarez is trying to just get it away from Rana and Chowdhury, who has entered the field of play. There is now Aguilar trying to run through past Gaikwad and Chowdhury. All still in play. Here is now Campbell. Positive run this all the way from her own half. Still goes on. Can she find the shot away? She can. Bobbles on through to Segovia, and there's the full-time whistle. Well, it's a perfect record after 2 for Argentina. 2 games, 2 wins, no goals conceded, 7 goals scored. They do look a side that has the potential to go all the way in this tournament. They put the Indians to the sword. All 4 goals in the first half. Goals from Johanna Aguilar with 2 and Gracia Sosa Brenche with 2. So Argentina comfortably go into a 4-0 lead. The Indians put up a better fight in the second half. Yes, it was 0-0, but the damage was done in the first half. Argentina looking strong and looking good to go all the way here in Birmingham, as they have wrapped up the win in their second game of the Women's Blind Football Tournament. Full time here in Birmingham. India 0, Argentina 4.